what else is a sign that wouldn't be good for you? Is it like, hey man, I got 10 G's. Can I get in on this? Like, is there,
Capital,
do people
yeah,
show up with just like too little money and you're like, hey,
sure. Yeah,
talk to me
it
about that.
happens a lot. I would say, and one of the biggest reasons that we might say it's not a goodbye, it's a see you later,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Is
It's not a right
timeline.
now. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Is timeline. So capital and timeline kind of go hand in hand, where a lot of folks are a little bit more exploratory and saying, I'm in, I know real estate is what I want to get into,
Mhm.
but I'm still in my due diligence phase in terms of, is this the right market for me? Are you the right operator? That's great. Like that is what this conversation is designed
Mhm, mhm.
for us to be able to talk folks through those series of questions, to arm them with the questions that they should be asking. And our hope is that when the timing is right, we are able to onboard that business. But if not, then at least we know where they went. Hopefully it's a good fit for them mutually that way. So, because interest rates are constantly changing, home prices are going to continue to go up, right?
Mhm.
So as time progresses, if you aren't in a position to make put a property under contract in the next 2 to 3 months,
Mhm.
it's probably not the most advantageous move for us to progress you through the sales process
Mhm.
until we're a little closer.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that we're being respectful of the team's time and prospective clients' times. If we take you through what a current eval and return expectations are, at the time you're closer to being able to actually put a property under contract, those numbers might have changed.
True.
So we will delay based off of timeline.
Yeah.
Ability to put a property under contract, and of course capital. So if you are looking to, we'll identify what your purchase method is.
Mhm.
And then based off of that, does that meet, if you're hoping to do a cash purchase or non-recourse out of your retirement account or conventionally finance, we're going to take you through what the minimum investment would be needed. And if you've got that capital readily available, is it liquid? Those
Yep.
are other questions that we're going to be asking as well.
So I feel like when we shot the class, at the end of the class, Greg was just like, the most valuable thing to do is to have a real estate expert in your network. So
Mhm.
like wherever you're at in the journey, like hop on this like first call and let us get to know you. But when I'm listening to you speak, like is it worth it for the JWB team to take a call with somebody that knows they want to invest in real estate? Is probably not there financially yet. Do you still want to have that first call with them?
I think it's fantastic to still have that call,
Yeah.
right? For everything that we've already talked through. I also, though, what Tierra is fantastic at doing is identifying at the end of that call, what's the best resource to send your way.
Okay.
So it's not just, it's not a see you later. We're also going to be providing resources like, have you had a chance to enroll in the course?
Mhm.
If somebody's really early on in that due diligence stage, the course is a perfect tool to be
True.
able to provide them with
Yeah.
to get them to enroll in that. And again, just arm themselves with that knowledge of what to be taking throughout the rest of their research.
Yep.
So if it's registering on behalf of that individual for the show, getting them our YouTube playlist and
Mhm.
shorts, and whatever that may look like, because we're going to identify and we're going to notate if we aren't moving forward with you for one reason or the other. We want to identify what that reason is and be able to give you, if you're still, doing market research,
Mhm.
let's give you some resources, some show clips, some past episodes that we have on
Yep.
sending different or researching different markets, if it's return expectations, right? So she does a fantastic job of utilizing and pulling different resources that are individualized for that person.
That's awesome. All right. So if I'm somebody that's listening to this right now, because I think I'm gonna ask you where we're at right now, right? But like if I'm someone that's priced out of the market right for right now,
Correct.
I need to save a couple more shekels, or maybe wait for interest rates to drop,
Yep.
or something. I shouldn't get discouraged. Like this first call is really designed to like figure out what your perfect next step is. If
Yeah.
your perfect next step is, hey, let's talk about going to business with JWB, great. If your best next step is, oh, you know what, we think that you should be looking in this place because this will like arm you with what you need for like the next couple of steps.
Yeah.
That's a welcome call, right? So
Well, and it's something too that Tierra does a fantastic job, and we want to empower our team too. If there's any bit of that, I'm still not sure at
Mhm.
any point in our sales process. It's our job, it is our duty as a sales team
Mhm.
to call that out and
Yeah.
say, hey, I'm sensing that there's still a little bit of uncertainty. Maybe we don't have everything, the whole plan created for you on the first call. Of course, we aren't going to do that. That's
Yeah.
really that high level, our goals aligned. And then we start to get more specific as we go throughout the rest of the sales process. But if there's any kind of inclination that there is hesitation on behalf of us as the operator, the market, return expectations, we should be calling that out and addressing that. So there's not a high pressure to move forward.
Yeah.
It doesn't do either of us any good.
It's interesting. So it's interesting that you say that, right? Because it wasn't until recently that I've overheard some of these sales calls. And it's one thing to be like, hey, it's cool, jump on, no pressure. We're not going to try to sell you. But if I'm listening, I'm like, yeah, right, bro. You want me on here and you're going to just try to sell the
You're a
crap out of me.
salesperson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet it's hard for me to express as the host of the show that I've heard the sales team be like, hey, listen, because you're saying this, I just want to pump the brakes.
Right.
Maybe you need to take some extra time. But because of what we talked about earlier, because the bulk of the time is spent so intentionally in the early part, in finding the teammate, in making sure that the property is right, in building the team around it, and finding the service provider that can help you set up the succeed to move over quickly. Now I'm able to understand that, you know, the key to this thing is aligned goals. And you're not telling people to slow down because you're a good person.
Right.
You're telling people to slow down because that's what's in it for you too.
Yeah.
As JWB, you know, it is not in your best interest to bring somebody on who this thing isn't right for. And therefore you will act in your own best interest, which happens to be my best interest because of the way that this thing is set up.
I mean, what I do is I remove myself from this a lot, and I take a step back and I think, what are we asking our clients to do? Right? Like it is so powerful when you think about the ask that we have of our clients to trust in a team with their capital, with the client's capital, to be able to achieve these passive dreams and goals that they have. And we're doing that on their behalf.
Yeah.
We aren't walking through these properties, right? You're not taking an in-person tour of your home.
Yeah.
If that's
It's a big level of trust.
If that's your want and your ask when you get to property selection, we've missed the mark as a team on our side, right? Because we have to, from that very first call, be that intentional that we are sharing how we are going to be able to do all of this on your behalf and build that trust. We can only do that if we are being completely honest and accountable and transparent with how it's all going to work. Otherwise, it would just be a mess of a relationship after we go under contract or you close on properties, right? I mean, it would not be.
It sounds terrible.
A pleasant experience for anybody. So we don't want that. We don't want that for our team. We don't want that for our clients. So I always kind of put myself back in that perspective of, let's think about the ask that we are making of our clients. Are we really setting everybody up for success to be able to deliver on that?
I love that. I love that. I love stepping back and being like, man, we are asking people to take a big leap here. So we better come correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, whether you've got several properties already in your portfolio or you're looking to do this for the first time, we're treating that the exact same way. Right. Because no matter what, now, if you are already a client of JWB's, that conversation is going to look a little different than it would be if you've never onboarded properties with us, because you already know the team and how processes work. But we still have to do some work in terms of what that new addition to your portfolio is going to look like. But, you know, the sentiment there is that no matter what, we just have to make sure that we're still doing this the right way from the very, very beginning, which is what that first phone call is.
Yeah. So if you're new here and you are convinced that this stuff is in your future, go to Chat with JWB, get on that call, just have this conversation, make it custom for you. I think it's going to be a good use of your time.